Hello and welcome to episode 572 of the Daily Sales Message podcast, where every single day I share a piece of simple and actionable advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff too. Now, in today's episode, we're talking about when something is easy to understand, it's also easy to share. It's easy to share. And this is something that's missed. It's completely missed by lots of the people that I talk to and the potential buyers that I come across. They might have a hard to explain offering, something that's complicated, technical, difficult, etc. That's a common thing. It's not easy to understand it in terms of actually buying from the person. And one of my maxims in my business is if they don't understand it, they can't buy it, which is true. If they don't understand it, they can't buy it. But if you don't understand it, they also can't share it. Or not easily, or not well. And I'll give you an example. And this is kind of the Joey and Chandler from Friends example of nobody in Friends knows what Chandler actually does for a living. And I'm sure you've got that friend or relative, person that you know, they have their own business or they've got a job or whatever, and you don't actually know what they do. Something in finance, something with computers, something in HR, something with people, not really sure. That's how you would describe them. So it's not easy to understand what they do. Thus, it's not easy to share, because if I said, yeah, my friend's got a company, does something with computers, well, that message doesn't travel very far. It's not easy for him to share that because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Whereas if he said, yeah, my friend's got a business where they actually make gaming computers from scratch to your specification, and there's a bit of detail there, then in sharing that, that might acquire him a client, and it might help raise some awareness. Whereas if it's, I don't know, something in IT, something with computers, something with gaming, whatever your description might happen to be, it's much harder to share. So you need to be mindful that being easy to understand in terms of your offering also limits your ability to, your ability to reach more people, because it's not easy to share. And how do we make something easier to share and easier to understand? We just break it down into fewer syllables, shorter words, fewer words, and we try and make it as real as possible and connect it to the real contextual human world of the people that you're dealing with. That will help them to better understand what you're talking about. A great way to do that is something called equivalence, where you can compare something they understand with something they don't yet understand. So if we take the, I know it's a random example, I don't do gaming, but the gaming PC random example, we could say it's a bit like when you go see a tailor and they make something for you from scratch, but they tailor make a computer for your particular gaming needs. Or it's like an architect. They design the computer for your gaming needs. By comparing it to something that's already understood, that's how we can engender understanding. So if they don't understand it, they can't share it. So make sure your offering is as easy to understand as possible. Right, that's it for this episode of the podcast. Tomorrow in episode 573, we're talking about a guy called Brad Sugars. Brad Sugars, he's the head of a company called Action Coach. Very, very, very successful guy. Very nice guy too. But it's like those things the internet, is it? But Brad had a problem. But he's got a problem. And I don't know if he knows it or not, but I'll talk about it in tomorrow's episode. I don't mean him any ill will, but there's definitely something not so good about his name when he markets himself. But I'll explain that in tomorrow's episode. Thank you for listening or watching all the way to the end. I do appreciate it. I'll catch you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.